What's up everyone, River here, and we are back with UBC. This time, team building for week 6 against, the spreadsheet will be saying Stab, but Stab unfortunately was not able to continue with the league, so we're up against Aiden and the Chicago Sacred Fires, or whatever team name he decided to change it into, doesn't really matter. If you're wondering why I made this massive skip from week 3 team building to week 6 team building, please, I would like to refer you to the previous video, which is VGC, but it also has some quick announcements related to the UBC at the start of the video. If you want to be up to date about why this skip is happening, then it would be recommended to check out that video quickly. Anyway, without further ado, let's check out the team that I've built and the team that he has. This is an old screenshot of this team. Like I said, Stab's name's still on it, but the team is still pretty much correctly, and team building wise not going to change much. The only difference is that there's no Whimsicott. Instead, he opted to bring regular Venusaur. He made the transfer, and that was all sealed before our match. So bar that, we got Manaphy, obviously a gigantic threat. They'll most commonly run with the tail glow, but it could be other sets, you never know for certain. There's the really big hazard stacking threat with Klefki, and also Thunder Waving of course, which is also very annoying. Runiclus with a regenerator, possible sweeper late game with either Trick Room or Calm Minding or both. Venusaur just being annoying in general, hard to break through because it's a pretty decent wall. Rhyperior, potential rock setter, more hazards basically, just being very annoying. Sneasel, which Aiden has brought a lot as a offensive threat rather than defensive threat. Well, defensive, it's never going to be a real wall, but most people like to run Sneasel with Violite, though he has been opting to run it more like a Weavile with Life Orb. And this Raikou, obviously very dangerous, very annoying as well to deal with because it just switches out whenever it wants to, unless I bring Ground type, which I could. Scrafty, not expecting Scrafty to show up against me because I have 2 fairy types which are both decently likely to show up this week. Clarentrum, basically same as Scrafty, not likely to show up. Hitmontop rather should show up because of the fear of the Sticky Web. Sticky Web would be very annoying for him to deal with otherwise. And Mega Zardax, obviously Zardax. Let's be real, I don't think I have to explain why that is a good man. Anyway, we're starting off this week's team with Virizion. First time showing up. I've always had my doubts with it ever since I drafted it, but I feel like if there is a single week where Virizion can perform, it has to be against this team. Not gonna lie about it, if Virizion does not perform, it is gonna get swapped out. Even if it does perform, it is likely to get swapped out because Virizion does not add a whole lot to my team. I mean, when it comes to fighting Stab, yeah, okay, I don't really have that, but I do have Weavile and Ampon, who can basically bring out the same amount of damage. Oh wait, I actually have Mian Zhao, who actually does bring better fighting Stab than Virizion. Like, the only thing Virizion brings right now isn't to be a Spore Absorber. Like, just to switch in on something like the Venusaur, to just take its Powder move or Spore or whatever the hell it wants to do to disable one of my mons, and then to just be annoying. So, even though I'm talking quite negatively about Virizion, I do actually like to run it in RU with this specific set. The max speed, max attack, assault vest variant. Basically usually running the same moves as well. Leaf Blade, Close Combat, X-Scissor, and Stone Edge, just for great coverage overall. I think I can hit pretty much anything on this team with this, bar the Klefki, but I can still hit that neutrally with Close Combat, which is still going to do a good amount of damage. With that, Virizion, like I said, he's going to prove himself, or at least hopefully prove himself this week. But in order to, I would almost say, compensate for that, we have to bring in someone who is known to perform well, which is Heatran. Heatran, like I said early on in the season, probably is going to show up every single week. And this time, as you can tell, we've got ourselves a very special variant. Sorry, I just had to drink a little bit. way better. Anyway, as you can tell, it is a Pasha Berry variant with Sunny Day. The only reason it's here, it is straight up to counter Manaphy. It is very, very simple. I'm not even running any stat moves on it. I don't, even though Lava Plume could be really good in this set, but I don't feel like I need that. The idea is quite simple. Set up Sunny Day into whatever I can actually switch Heatran into, and then attempt to get a Solar Beam off on the Manaphy. That is its goal. With the Sunny Day plus Pasha Berry, I am pretty damn certain that even a +3 Scald has... No, I'm gonna put it differently. A +3 Surf cannot Oko Heatran after losing its HP for 1 sub. And then there's just Earth Power for general coverage. I mean, if we look at his team, Earth Power weaknesses: Klefki, Rhyperior, Raikou, Tyrantrum, and Zod X after it Mega Evolves. So basically, I am really banking on that Earth Power to just be solid coverage, whereas Solar Beam, Sunny Day, straight up just a counter Manaphy. It sounds really weird considering my team that I'm setting up Heatran to be the Manaphy counter, but it is also the least likely one to bring as a Manaphy counter. So I feel with that psychological advantage, I may just be able to pull off some wacky things, basically. So next up, another solid member of the team has to be the Galhangela Sporderman. Only missing 1 week, still slightly regretting that. And we're running, I think it's the same set from week 1, except with the Thunder, which I did really regret back then. So we've got Sticky Web, Thunder, Volt Switch, and Bug Buzz. No real coverage outside of a stab. We got the regular timid max speed, max attack, so he can just outspeed anything that's not a Scarf. And yeah, it's just basically as solid as it gets. It gets Focus Sash, so he can guarantee the Sticky Web, or just guarantee 2 attacks out of it. And there's not really much to say. It has a pretty good matchup against his team. The only thing we really don't want to be paired up against would be the Rhyperior. That is, if it shows up. And I feel quite confident with it. So we're gonna bring in another classic, I would almost say, back from week 3, the Togekiss. I don't think it made any performances in between. And again, we've got ourselves a little bit of an odd setup. So first off, Defog. Again, I feel like we need it with the hazard stacking danger of the Rhyperior plus Klefki, especially the Klefki. I feel like Togekiss is a must-have on this team, knowing it is my only Defogger. Then we go Dazzling Gleam because it has really good coverage against this team. It hits Zod X neutral, it hits the Hitmontop super effectively, it hits the Tyrantrum, the Scrafty ×4, the Weavile. It's just really, it's basically my best offensive move. Even though I could bring Air Slash, especially because I'm bringing Thunder Wave, I feel like Dazzling Gleam is my best choice here. And we could Hidden Power Ground just for the Raikou. It also works against the Rhyperior, which is a likely switch into the Togekiss. It hits the Klefki, it's a 3-hit KO on the Klefki for sure, even without a special attack investment. So, about the investments, the special defense investment is there just to be able to wall some of his bigger threats. To wall off the Reuniclus, wall off the Raikou. This allows me to live a Volt Switch plus Thunderbolts, even 2 Thunderbolts if we take the Citrus Berry into account. And with that we can actually KO it with 2 HP ground, unless it is a defensive variant. And even then Thunderbolt won't be a 2-hit KO, so that's fine. That's fine by me. Did I say 2-hit KO? It won't be a 3-hit KO, I should say. So yeah, that's basically the plan behind the Togekiss. Get some speed control in if he has a potential, if he has an actual Scarf on his team, defogging away his hazards, and just bringing pretty good coverage to the team this week. So next up is what I think is my win condition, and like I said, it's quite reminiscent to week 3. It is the double Fairy Core with Mega Gardevoir. Mega Gardevoir this week. I feel like it might just be straight up my win condition, but at the same time, it could be really dispensable if Aiden ends up bringing a team that I'm not anticipating onto. So, When it comes to the moveset, it's really nothing special. We got Size Shock and Hyper Voice, just the most common stab move for God of War, for Mega God of War at least. Then we've got the Energy Ball, just to be able to take care of the Mana Feed, take care of the Rhyperior, take care of the Scrafty what? I mean, Tyrantrum, even though Hyper Voice actually takes better care of Tyrantrum. And then we've got the Shadow Ball, just for Reuniclus. I feel like Reuniclus is actually really worthwhile to prepare for, especially with that Regenerator ability. And it's decent versatility. Like, you know what its role is going to be, but you don't know how it's going to execute it. And that's something I'm kind of afraid of. So I do feel like I need it. We also got a Trace ability. Like, normally when I run Mega God of War, I like to have the Synchronize ability just to be able to swap in on a potential status afflicting move. But this week I'm actually going for Trace because he has a couple of mons which I am not certain about the abilities. Mainly being if it, for example, switches in on the Scrafty, I can intimidate it back. Same with the Hitmontop, which is really useful. And getting a read in on, let's say, the Rhyperior would also be quite nice, I think. And if we can get it to switch in on, let's say, Reuniclus, I can actually utilize its own Regenerator to save my Mega God of War for later on in the battle. So I feel like Trace is actually a really good ability for this week. And yeah, that's basically the plan behind it. So last but not least, again, a member that's been returning every single week, Weavile. Once again, running the Power Herb. I think I ran the Power Herb set in week 2, if I remember correctly. I ran it once before, but I didn't get to use it. So the idea behind it, obviously, as you can tell, Power Herb Dig. It is a straight up counter to both Raikou and Mega Charizard X. Raikou only if I can get the Sticky Web up, Mega Charizard X straight up. If I can get this setup going, then one of those two will not be playing today. At least, not be playing, it won't be able to live. So if I can get up a scenario where Weavile is one-on-one with one of those two, and for some reason I know that my opponent won't switch, that is a guaranteed knockout. Besides that, we have the Fake Out. I just like the Fake Out for the priority, plus the ability to break sashes before I actually go in, rather than, for example, go Icicle Crash into Ice Shot. We can also go Icicle Crash, just get that little bit of RNG going, and straight up being Weavile's strongest Ice-type move, and knock off just for straight up utility. Sets, the spread of my EV is just nothing special. We got the max speed, so we can outspeed anything on the Steam. Bar Raikou, I think. I'm not sure about Raikou's speed. Let's just check that. He should be... Hey, Raikou, 115. Yeah, we outspeed Raikou because we have the Jolly Nature. If we would go Animal, then he would be Timid, then we would not outspeed it. And with that, yeah, we outspeed anything Boss Scarf uses on the Steam. We get the power to deal with basically anything on the Steam. The only thing that would be really annoying is Klefki, even though we could sacrifice our power up for that, even though I don't think that would be worth it. Then again, we have multiple ground attack users with Heatran's Earth Power and Togekiss's HP Ground. So I don't think we're actually going to need to do that. And with that, that would be the end of the Team Builder. Let me think, this was against Aiden. Yeah, okay, so we will try to get that video. It will be post-commentary, as I also said in the VGC video. I will try to get that up within probably the next day or two. I'm not entirely certain when I'm going to upload that. But stay tuned for that. And until then, I'm signing out.